those monies would be coming from. So those are, those are looked at by the auditors, but the detail and the level of procedures, I definitely, am comfortable saying, yeah, let's see what we can do.
Do we have some funds that are outside the office too being handled? That are student activity? Are there other funds?
Each school has its own student
Yeah.
activity fund.
Yeah.
And we have Simsbury Bank accounts where there has to be 2 signers minimum. So we have principals, myself, the superintendent, or the building secretary. So there's a whole separate process in there. But the dollars that pass through, those are generally PTO things that are much smaller. Whereas the high school, like I said, you have the pay to play, you have the parking, you have scholarships that are being there's trust monies and
What is pay to
things.
play down? Just
I believe it's $150, but I could be wrong on that.
Now, Simsbury Farms, how much gets collected up there through the
It's in the season.
whole season?
It's like last month, it was about $250,000 for last month.
Yeah.
And there's but the big influx now for me is the credit cards. The credit cards and the debit cards are coming in from all separate directions, and it's just, everybody's doing the best they can, but I don't think historically we've ever had a best practices for credit card use or whatnot. We've just gone charging into it. And when it comes, at the reconciliation
Right, it's
time,
right there.
it's, we're always chasing down someone.
Because if you don't get the paperwork in,
It really would be nice to have somebody give us directions to what's the best way to go with the credit cards, because we're taking them in
Yeah.
everywhere now,
I think it's a good exercise because you're going to get some positive. Performing arts is new. They've now created it to a different type of entity,
yeah.
and that's all new. There's a lot of newness happening there, and that's only going to get larger based on what's happening. So it's good to look at that. Building permits is a different animal. It's
And they have been very open to using controls. This year, I would say we were probably 100% better than any other years in terms of, what's going on and how it's going on, and, the technology that got introduced to it. But it's a lot of wheels moving.
there's a lot going on in this town, but I think it couldn't hurt for us to.
I agree.
And this is, and it'd be money well spent, and good controls would come out of it, and it's hard to measure the worth, but if we get a good control environment and people feel better, and we know we're operating under a better system, then it makes everything a lot neater, and you feel better about the record you're putting.
So is it consensus of the board that we do ask the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Education to consider this?
Yeah, I think that it makes sense, consider it, and
Okay. All right, good. I don't think I need
And we
a
can
motion. I
fine
think
tune
we're
these
pretty
too. I mean,
much-
we can still work on what it is, and people have recommendations,
Right.
just call and you can see I had one of my partners take a look. He wrote
This
some
is a
comments
little
down.
late,
their
but
agenda.
should we do a motion to amend the agenda to include this topic, especially
Sure,
because we're
I'll
forwarding a
take a motion on
document?
that.
yeah, also move.
Any discussion?
We just did.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, great.
Who seconded
Okay,
my-
that was the last item on the agenda, but before I do that, Peter, you had one more thing?
Yeah, there was a carryover item from the last meeting. We had tabled two items. One of them made it on here, one did not.
Right, last two.
Hang on.
Should be in the
Number,
minutes.
Items 4 and 5, transfer of funds from the internal service funds to OPEB, and
yeah, that's
then
it.
the preliminary results, so.
Oh, the internal service funds, that didn't need to be taken care of, it was an internal, it's all set. That transfer can occur. After talking with Vanessa, that transfer is going to be occurring. We can give you a follow-up on that for the next meeting.
So-
How much we actually transferred.
Gotcha.
It was just enough.
You didn't
it was
have to,
just
there
enough
was
to-
no action
No
needed by
action
any
required?
board.
Yeah.
Well, that's, okay, good.
There was no action that needed to be taken.
Okay, so we're all set on that?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so that was the only outstanding item? Okay. All right, but before we go, I do want to thank, and you might have heard as we came in that our current clerk, Leslie, is leaving us. Corporate transfer, I believe?
Yeah.
To North Carolina?
Yeah, Charlotte.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, we're certainly going to miss you, and you've done a great job.
Awesome
We
job.
want to wish you and your husband and your family the best of luck.
I appreciate it.
We also want to welcome our new clerk. Irene is sitting in here on the job training, I guess, for just observing. And we're not too rough of a group. So, but we want to welcome you and wish Leslie the best of luck. So, okay, with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 We are adjourned. There's mistakes in here.
I went back.
that need to be done.
I just showed her this.
Well, here's some of the other more problems that I had.
I know.